Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about some basic concepts related to Python programming. So if you're new to programming and you want to read any book, I can suggest these two are good book. I like the first one because it has good questions. At the end of the chapter you will find some objective question and basic definitions. This book has explained things in a very simpler way. And these books are available for free, so if you want you can read these books. In our future videos we will be writing Python program. So I want to talk about few basic concepts related to Python programming. Whenever you are trying to learn any programming, so basically you are learning two things. You are learning rules and the feature of the programming language, whether it's a Java, C# or Python. And then you will learn how to write logics to solve problem in the language. And to write this logic you have to know the rules of the language and what are the feature it provides. For example, if you want to print something 10 times, okay, so let's suppose your problem involves writing or printing something 10 times. So you have to know, is there any feature in Python programming that I can use to print 10 times and how I can do that. So we know that in programming language we have loops, we can use loops and they can be written in a very specific way, so we have to follow the rules of writing loops, and that's how we can build up a logic. Okay, so these rules and feature are easy to learn because you read a book, you do some examples and you will know this. Building logics can take time. For example, if problem is simpler, for example you want to write a logic to write a program to add two numbers, that can be little simpler. Okay, if you want to write something complex, for example you want to write a Python program to predict something, okay, that can be little more complicated because it involves prediction. You may have to use linear regression. For that you may have to say write some complex code. Okay, so as you practice more and try to solve problems, your logic will slowly build up. You will know how to use these features and rules. Okay, so while writing any or learning any programming language, you have to focus on these two things. So if you're a beginner, focus on first this one, and slowly when you know the rules and the features, you can slowly start writing program for simpler and then to for complex programs. Okay, so as we have discussed in the previous video, Python is a object-oriented programming language similar to Java and C#. It means Python has a specific approach to solve problems. So the basic idea behind object-oriented programming is that every problem is viewed as a collection of objects. That means any problem that we are trying to solve, we will try to represent it in a form that two objects are talking to each other. Okay, so object can have some data, they can have some methods, and they can use these methods and data to share information with each other. Okay, so that's why every programming language that is object oriented like Java, C#, they have these basic concepts: class, object, data encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. So these concepts are related to object-oriented programming. How they are actually implemented, that can be slightly different from one language to another language. For example, inheritance in Python can be different than inheritance in Java, but there will be some way to implement inheritance. So whenever we are trying to learn about any object-oriented programming, we will be learning about these concepts. So the reason I am explaining is because in our future videos, when we write program, we will be creating some object classes, we will be implementing polymorphism, we will be doing some questions about inheritance. Okay, so that's why I want to mention this concept, so that future when I talk about it, we know that these concepts are related to object-oriented programming. Okay, so I will stop here for this video. Thank you for watching.